I started and failed at 13 businesses before having my first success. And looking back, why those businesses failed? Because I was a lousy entrepreneur. I was a lousy businessman. I didn't know what I was doing. I had an idea and I thought everybody would love the idea. Everybody would want to buy this product. So I would go out there in the marketplace and just getting slaughtered, right? Because I didn't know how to sell, and more importantly, I didn't know how to market. And until I developed those skill sets, knowing how to communicate, knowing how to sell, knowing how to market a product or service. How do you come up an angle? How do you take something, how to take an idea, take a product, a service, and then you push out there in the marketplace so people would respond, people would trust the product, people would buy from you online or offline. How do you exactly do that? In this video, my digital marketing advisor, Jeremy Haynes, he's gonna share with you 7 tips that you need to know to become a better marketer.
Welcome into the video. This is Jeremy. Today I'm gonna give you 7 tips for when you're just getting started as a beginner in the digital marketing game. These tips are gonna help you a lot. Tip number 1, never stop learning. All right, might sound cheesy in terms of how you're hearing it right now, especially if you're just getting started. But remember, new data leads to new awareness leads to new opportunities. Don't plateau your learning. You never know enough. I'm 8.5 years into the digital marketing game myself with hands-on experience. I still learn new things today. Tip number 2, become a well-rounded digital marketer. All the time I meet people who just doubled down and specialized in one specific skill set, like maybe they're just a copywriter, or they're just an advertiser, or they're just a funnel builder. A well-rounded digital marketer, these become very valuable for businesses because you'll see all the different ways that a business can drive revenue. Doesn't mean you have to do it yourself, but it gives you an opportunity to be more valuable to the business just by being able to consult on the things that can help you with whatever your isolated skill set might be you've sold to that business to just make more revenue all around, both for you and for the business. Dan Lok has a good quote, the money's in the money. So when you can help a business to make money, it's gonna help you make money. That means you're selling revenue. Okay, one day this guy named Judge Graham, one of my mentors, he sold 2 agencies. He don't like me to say the exact amount, so I'm gonna generalize it as I know he'd appreciate that. He sold one of them for 8 figures. I'm not talking like just 10 million, it was like mid-range 8 figures, okay? The other one was 9 figures, which means that he sold a business for more than 100 million. Both of these were marketing agencies, big corporate clients, incredible guy to learn from, great information. Now Judge, he was on my balcony. He's becoming a client of my agency. He was in Miami where we were at the penthouse at the time. And he's on my balcony, he's talking to my head of sales, Leo. And I walk out on the balcony at this exact time where he says this quote. He says, you're not selling ads, Leo. He goes, you're selling revenue. It really hit me hard in terms of whatever you're doing for a business, right? Could be copywriting, funnel building, even if you're just a graphic designer doing like videography or whatever the hell you're doing, ads, consulting, you are selling revenue, okay? Businesses exist, for-profit businesses exist to make money, okay? So when you're a part of the business in whatever capacity you are as a marketer, just remember, you're there to drive revenue. Don't forget that, all right? Now, tip number 4, when you are just getting started, you've got to take a lot of action in a little bit of time to get the most results in the least bit of time. A lot of the times when people first get in a client, right? They get a client relationship, they got 30 days to drive revenue because they're getting paid every 30 days. And once they sign the client on, they'll wait like a week of doing non-revenue driven things. Might be fixing a funnel, might be waiting for the client to do something like shoot ads or whatever the hell they got to do. It might be you needing to do something like getting ad copy created. Well, what happens is if you're judged by revenue in 4 weeks in a relationship, that's when you get paid next, and you wasted a full week, it only leaves you with 3 weeks to drive revenue for the business. Instead of 30 days, you now only have 21 days. Remember, you're judged by revenue when you're a digital marketer and working with a business. When you have a 30-day window, maximize the 30 days. Don't waste time doing things that you could have done before you executed the deal. A lot of the times when we work with clients, they love that we won't even take the deal on until we tell them, look, you need to do this, this, and this first. If we wait until we do the deal and then tell you to do those things, we're just gonna waste time, and we know how we're judged by revenue. You need to do these things, then we'll execute the deal. They appreciate that. They always follow through and do the deal anyway. It helps all around. Tip number 5, focus on high leverage actions. This is across everything you're gonna do. In your personal life, in your business, in your marketing actions. A lot of people think they need to be sitting down doing the work for 8 to 12 hours a day when they're first getting started. That's untrue. although that'll help you accumulate experience, you're likely just gonna be doing tedious, low leverage actions. When I say that, that means actions that you're gonna take when you just spend a ton of time doing things are typically actions that don't produce significant results, right? The outcome of an action needs to have a significant result. Otherwise, it might not even be worthy of the action itself. So if you start to constrain yourself as a marketer by saying, okay, when I'm gonna go write ads, or when I'm gonna go deploy this campaign, or when I'm gonna go do whatever I gotta do today, instead of spending 8 hours to do it like an employee thinks, right? Start thinking to yourself, how could I produce as significant of a result as possible, but only in 30 minutes, only in 15 minutes, right? In less than an hour. Challenge yourself, because the thinking changes, right? If you go and sit down and say to yourself, I'm gonna give myself 8 hours to accomplish this, I'm telling you, all the actions you're gonna take are just to fill that time. All right, tip number 6, do the math, all right? When I say this, it's important to understand, like when you sell for a business and you're a marketer for them, let's say they're selling something for like, I don't know, $197, okay? And they wanna make $1 million a month. And let's say there's another company, company B, that also wants to make $1 million a month, but they have a $5,000 program. Listen to this math real quick, okay? So if I'm a marketer and I'm doing ads for these two businesses, both of them have the same goal. Both want to make $1 million a month. One of them has a $197 product, one of them has a $5,000 product. The person who has the $5,000 product, company B, it's only gonna take 200 people to sign up for me to make $1 million for them. Company A, who has a $197 product, it's gonna take 10,000 people to sign up in order for me to hit that $1 million goal in that month. Think about that. I need 10,000 people to sign up over here. I need 200 people to sign up over here in order to hit the same outcome. You might be asking yourself, well, isn't it harder to sell a high ticket product? Very untrue. Commonly, when you're selling to a more financially qualified demographic, somebody who's more financially well off, they actually have less resistance on buying things that are more expensive because they have more revenue to do so. It's easy to justify. The people who are selling low ticket things, whatever it might be, typically have more resistance. They typically get less quality customers. They get the customers that complain, potentially ask for refunds, ask a ton of questions in the buying cycle. The people who are buying high ticket programs, high ticket products, high ticket services, whatever it might be, those types of customers are usually much more quality. And this is made up. I've sold both. I've been on both sides of the spectrum in terms of experiencing these different types of customers through businesses and through my own businesses. Do the math. When you're initially taking on a deal, you're gonna save yourself a lot of time. It takes a lot less time to produce 200 customers than it does to produce 10,000 customers. And that affects your quality of life as a marketer. Okay, tip number 7. When I first got started, there really weren't that many people to learn from. Like 8.5 years ago, it's like I learned a lot more from experience than I did from mentors because there weren't nearly as many people selling courses and just helping people to get started. Now, the big issue about fast forwarding to today is that there's so many people to learn from, but there's also so many people who are teaching for the wrong reasons. There's people who will teach you just because they want to make money. They want to take money out of your pocket, they want to put it in theirs. Those are not the kind of people you want to learn from. Those types of people typically have very little experience doing what they're teaching on top of that. You need to learn from people who make far more money doing what they teach in comparison to making it off of you as somebody that they're teaching. You need to make sure you're learning from people who have a ton of experience doing what it is that you are learning from them. My grandfather taught me when I was young, he said it's a fool's game to learn the hard way. Essentially what that means in action is that if you choose to just go in blindly and just try to do everything yourself as a marketer, especially when you're first getting started, you're gonna have to learn all the lessons that a lot of people have already learned and have made available on the internet, both for free and for paid courses and things like that. You're gonna learn the hard way instead. You're gonna run square into the problems that you could have otherwise avoided entirely. You're gonna potentially elongate your progress by months or years based on the speed in which you solve a lot of those problems that you run into along the way. You gotta make sure as a beginner that you're learning from people who are qualified to teach you. Don't just learn from anybody. Learn from people who have done and accomplished what you seek to do yourself. It speeds up your progress tenfold. Mentors are the cheat codes to real life, okay? I remember playing Grand Theft Auto as a kid. I wanted the full weapon wheel, or I wanted like full health and armor, or I wanted to spawn like a jet in the middle of the road. Just use cheat codes. I don't need to go and acquire all those things in the game. It's gonna take far too long to do all those things. It's spread out all over the map. You know, it'd take me hours in real life to accomplish that in that video game. Real life, okay, when you're trying to get some speed to result as a beginner marketer, just pay to learn it from somebody who's already gotten there fast. Pay to learn it from somebody who's already gotten there plenty of times, okay? That speeds up your progress tenfold. Those were the 7 tips. Hope you guys enjoyed them. They're very practical. Apply them into what you do. You'll get a lot of result with them, especially if you're just getting started. If you're already in the game as a marketer and you've heard some things that you're not doing inside of this, make sure that you apply those, become more well-rounded, and advance yourself. Now, Dan Locke and I, we put together something that's gonna help you. We have an entire program called High Ticket Agency. It's to help you start and scale a marketing agency. It's for both beginners, and it helps a ton if you already have an agency and you're looking to get going faster. You're gonna speed your progress to results and just avoid learning lessons the hard way. We put together a preview of that program. There's no cost to it. It's called the Digital Agency Launchpad. Helps increase your awareness, teaches the things that we've already learned, and just gives you a preview of what that bigger program, HTA, is all about. It's called the Digital Agency Launchpad. The link's below in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, drop a comment below and let me know what you guys want to see in one of these next videos, and I look forward to helping you out.